Okay, so the record has started. So hello everyone, and thank you for joining our session today. Uh, the last session in the year, so hopefully we will have something very interesting to present today. Okay, so let's kick start. Again, just a reminder, our session is live now on LinkedIn and will be published on several social media. So if you don't like to be recorded, I will ask you to leave the session and you may watch the record later. Okay, today, our agenda today. First, I thought it's better to give you an idea about what not all the key challenges, but some of the key challenges, the business face. Of course, the business face with many challenges, but as the age of AI and all of this, economic, we have several challenges. So we will start, cover some of the key challenges of the business and start focus on how software engineering practices addresses some of these challenges. Of course, we can't cover all the challenges or how to cover all of them. It just, we will introduce the way that you can come up with facing some of these challenges. And then we will start introducing the main topic of our session today is the reusability. And we would like here to focus on using reusability as a mindset. It is not just, an idea or some reusable code or function, but it's a completely mindset. And after that, we will just give you a few examples of some reusabilities in several areas. And after that, we will see, like explaining that GitHub give you several features and capabilities that support the reusability and the engineering practices for facing and overcome the challenges. And then we will go for the demo. My colleague Rahab will introduce several demos, and then if you have any Q&A. Okay, so again, all our projects and resources are open source on our organization DevOps Divisions. So if you would like to get any information, just visit our org on GitHub. Okay, so let's start thinking about what some of the key challenges with the business. Again, we live in a very dynamic world, like change is the only constant is a change. So changing is become even more rapidly than before, like suppliers, they change the way that they are working, customers needs, so all the time there is many change that we would like to embrace and respond to that to our business. And again, the competition, market, all of that. And with this all change, there is also some new features. Okay, so while the business change because the customer, the suppliers, the method, all this kind of change, we need also to create some new features. So all the time we need to change, all the time we need new features. And this is not only the challenges. We need this very fast. We need to be like developing this very quickly, doing this change or doing new feature. And again, this been all, the last 15 years talking about agile and DevOps, speeding that. But again, the market is even require more and more and more. So how, software engineering addresses this? Again, the main idea is using the best practices and the principles of engineering, which covers, many practices, like for example, reusability. Like you design components that can be used in multiple contexts. You increase the maintainability. So once you write the code in one place with encapsulation, you know, then if you would like to change that, you change in one place and it will impact and affect all component. Extensibility, like by considering the extensibility practices, it means that you make your platform is like extensible by adding plugins or add functionality by any other developer. Modularity, like breaking down your code into submodules, and you know scalability, testability, all this kind of practices. And I think again, this is many topics, and this is like a complete directions about all this kind of best practices and principles. But today we are not going to cover all of that. Today we are going to focus on reusability, some of what we will cover part of the maintainability. But again, because this is like many topics, and it require a deep talk about everyone, so we'll just cover part of the reusability. And again, we will only focus that how to improve our mindset about that. Okay, so again, just to consider the reusability as a mindset, I think this is the first thing that we learn when we start developing code. Create a function so you can reuse this function or this method many times. But again, I don't think that this mindset is just to consider, it's not only for functions, but again, this is the first thing you usually learn when you start developing, by having one function that you can recall. But you know even when junior developers they start getting more experience, they don't to consider this mindset. It is not just a function, it is a complete world that you need to consider. So again, you need to consider this as a great mindset that you can be really using it in several ways, as we will see. Okay, to just to give you a few example of reusability. uh, You may use reusability as a creating a library. So instead of writing the code repeated time, you just encapsulate it in one library and just adding reference from several application to this library. And then you can use this library with hundred or maybe thousands or maybe even millions of application for this library. So this is like, for any technology, even they provided libraries. For CI/CD or continuous integration, continuous development, you can use creating a pipeline as a reusable. If we're talking about GitHub action as a reusable action, or even a reusable workflow, or if we're talking about Azure DevOps, then you can create it as a reusable task for Azure DevOps pipeline, or even as a reusable pipeline. So the main idea, again, you can have different that for CI/CD. You can even have a template. This could be a template for, a Visual Studio template for code, for unit test. It could be even template for emails template, or even templates for messaging or whatever. So you can, by making templatize the content and reusing that with parameterized, then you can use one template for hundreds of time or maybe millions of time. Even knowledge base and information, and this is usually what I'm saying, it is not about only code, but it's even about the knowledge. So when you start looking at Stack Overflow, for example, as a knowledge base, so you don't repeat the questions. You even have one question and answer that, the answer can use many times for this question. So there is no repetitive, you know. So again, this is just a few examples about reusability, but there is many, example there. And this is why we talk about why you need to consider that as a mindset. Because once you consider that as a mindset, you will start looking for solving the problems in a different ways. You know, I think we had another session talking about how AI will impact the software engineer. And we start introducing that the main idea is not just solving the problem, but choosing which problem to solve. So finding the right problem is the key. Which problem to solve? So considering the reusability as a mindset, it will just give you think better about finding the right problem so you can find the right solutions. Because if you don't consider reusability, you will try to solve another problem. But once you consider reusability as a mindset, you will consider that to find the problem, and then you will start thinking of the solution. And this is why we can see that GitHub provide us with a huge and amazing features that can support us for reusability and maintainability as well. And again here, if you are not considering the maintainability and reusability as a mindset, you will not even think about this feature. You will not even think, that this feature is required or it is exists. But again, by just considering the mindset, you will start thinking of finding the right problem and solving the right problem in using the right solutions. Okay, I think enough of me now, and let's go for the demo. I will hand that over to my colleague Rahab. So hello, Rahab. The stage is yours.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Can see
Yeah.
my screen. Okay. So our last session in 2024. Hello everyone. Rahab Ragab from DevOps Visions community. Actually, the previous session we planned that the previous session will be the last one in 2024, where we talked about the reusability from the coding perspective, and we saw how we create a reusable class library and publish this package to GitHub package management. And we couldn't prevent ourselves from holding another session to talk about reusability from a mindset perspective. As Radwan mentioned, it's not only about reusing functions or creating a class library or uh, or uh, or only in the code, but it's all about mindset. And when you realize this mindset, you will find yourself by default try to apply this concept whenever you are working on. We use GitHub today as a platform, and will introduce multiple examples, and we will see how we apply this mindset across different areas, starting from commenting on an issue or a PR, ending with applying this mindset in GitHub Action workflow. So let's get started with the first demo. Before getting started with the demo, let me ask you, what if you frequently use the same comment in issues or BR in GitHub over and over? How you apply reusability mindset in this case? If anyone would like to, anyone?
Can I answer? Okay, usually I did that by creating a markdown files and put like some messages And even this is when people like, reaching out to me on Facebook or social media because I got many requests. So I prepare like, some messages in Markdown file. I put them on Azure DevOps wiki page. And
Yes.
yes, it's very hard, it's very difficult to maintain that.
Okay, so GitHub will help us in this situation. So there is an interesting feature in GitHub called saved reply. So you can create replies that you most frequently as a saved reply and reuse it in maybe issues.
Can I have it in Facebook, for example?
Let's read the feature too. So
Yeah,
create a saved reply and reuse it in issues, PRs, or discussion. So let's see how we can create it and reuse it.
yeah, sure.
So to create a saved replies are tied to your personal account, to your GitHub personal account. So to create it from setting under your GitHub account, under this section, code planning and automation, saved replies, and you can create. You need to have a title for this reply and the reply itself. So this is just a sample hello from saved reply, and let's add it. Now we have one saved reply. You can edit, you can delete, and as saved reply is tied to your personal account, you can reuse it across all repositories under your GitHub account, personal account, or any repository in any in any organization that you are a member of. So this is an example of a repository under my personal account. I have this issue here, and I would like to add some comment. Now I will, now we have saved reply, so I will not type any, just select saved reply again from here, this arrow, and select the saved reply and just comment. That's it. In just no time, add your comment from the already existing saved reply. And also you can use this saved replies across repositories in any organization you are member of. So this DevOps Visions, I'm member of this organization, and this is a repo under this organization. Let's take another example for pull request. This is a sample pull request. This is a pull request, and I would like to add the same comment. So let's use saved reply, hello from saved reply, and that's it. For any PR, for any issues, you can reuse the already existing saved reply. You can add multi-saved replies up to, I think, 100 saved replies. So let's add another one, ship it, looks good to me, ship it, and now I have another saved reply. Let's see how we can navigate across multi-saved reply and reuse the desired one that I have here, multi-saved reply, and I can reuse the one that I find it suitable for my case. So
And we
this
can
is
see that the saved reply has filter. So you can filter, if you have multiple, you can filter that very quickly. Yeah.
yeah, yes. And that's it for the first case and first scenario. Creating a saved reply and reuse it across your repositories. Another scenario for applying reusability, it's repo template. Imagine that you have a specific structure for a repository, structure of files, directory, and so on, and you would like to apply this structure to any new repository you would like to create. So this is the feature repo template. To create a repo template, you must first create a repository that you would like to be the template, and then make this repo as a template. So let's start by creating the template repo first. Under our organization here, new repository, demo template, and just add a readme file and create the repo. So let's add another file and name it temp, just markdown file, and add this text. This is the temp file, and commit this change. So this is a repository, and this is the structure for simple structure, just for example, and this is the structure I would like for every repository I would like to create in our in this organization to have the same structure. So to do this, let's make this template, this repo as a template. From setting here, check this setting template repository, and as you can see here, template repositories let users generate new repository with the same directory structure and files. So now we have the template. Let's create and see how to create a new repository based on this template. Here under repository template, you can select the template that we already created, demo template, and just type the repository name, repo from template, and create repository. It will start by generating, and as you can see here, the same structure of the template repo. We have only two files, readme and the temp file that we created, and this is the text, this is temp file. As you can see, this is the template repo, and this is the repo that we created from the template. And of course, we apply this concept here while creating our repositories in our organization. We have more than 20 repo. And when we start by creating this repo, we found ourselves that we would like to have the same structure applied to across all these repositories. So we created a temp repo, this template. We have here this structure, this .github for workflow files, docs, src, .get.org, .getignore, license, and readme, and all these repositories here created based on this template. So let's take this repo as an example. WordPress Automation Toolkit. This is an open source framework that we are working on, have the same structure of the template repo. So this is the second scenario.
Yes, one comment just to have. So,
Okay.
And if you, as you can see, we design the template, and this is very important. Once you understand that the reusability mindset, you start thinking, okay, I need to have design and being an architect. Okay, how to architect the repository, directories and folders. For example, inside SRC, we have, a directory for applications. It could be web application, it could be mobile application, or infrastructure as code. It could be, so we start again, designing and architect. And this is why, as we introducing reusability as a mindset, you start thinking about designing and architect. And we even have one repository that hold all our practice and the principles. And one of them is the designing of the repository. And as soon as we design new repository structure, we start updating our principle and practices and to start applying that to the template. So our new templates were including that. So I wanted just to give you an idea that you should consider your design and architect as a part of the reusability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is the second scenario. The the third scenario where you can apply reusability mindset is projects. Um, Projects in GitHub. So imagine again you would like to create a project. You would like to create multiple projects, and all these projects should have the same customization. You would like to create some custom fields across all these projects, and the same custom fields, the same customization for views, for workflows. So you will not, of course, you will not, of course, create this customization for each project. Instead of that, applying reusability, you can create a project template and create all new projects from this template, like we did in repo template. So let's see projects here in our organization. To create a template, under templates sections here, you can in repo you must create the repo first and then make it as a template. In projects here, you can create a new template, or you can make an already existing project as a template. So to create a new template, from new template here, this is the name of the template. You can edit it from here. Let's amend it, project template demo. And here, this is, let's save the changes. And this is the setting I mentioned, that if you already have a project, customized project, and you would like to make this project as a template, you can make it from this setting here. Just enable this setting, make a template. And let's add some customization by creating some fields. I will create this field, estimated time, text field, create another one, week number, let's make it number. And another customization in this template project in across workflows. This is the default workflows. You can make, if you would like to, this default workflow, when an item is added to project, you would like to automatically add this item to this status to do. So let's enable, turn it on, and let's make some customization across these views. We have this board view. I have only these 3 columns. I would like to customize it to add a new column. So I will add a new column and make it ready. Drag this column and drop it here. You can also customize this already existing columns. Let's rename this to new, change the color, and also for this done, let's change it to green. Let's create a new view as well of type table. Rename this new custom view, temp view. Let's add fields like this field that we created, estimated time and week. So this is the customization I would like to have across many projects. I did all this customization in this project template. And let's see how we can create multiple projects based on this template project. From new project here, under project templates from your organization, I will select the templates that I have already created. And as you can see here, we have 4 views. This is the custom view that we created, temp view, and this is the custom fields that we created, estimated time, week number, and also the workflows. Let's rename this project, new project from template, and create it. And as you can see here, all customization applied. This is the customized view, and also the columns of this board view customized. We have also this new customized field that added in the template project. And also if we navigate to workflow, as you can see here, this was turned off by default. But as I turned it on in the project template, it's applied to the project that I have created from the template. So here, this is how we create some how we add some customization to our project template and create some projects from this template. But what if we, after creating some project from the project template, and add another customization to the template? So this new customization will be applied to the already created projects or not? Let's see this. Let's make some new customization. Start date, add some new, add this new field, start date. And navigating to the project that I have created from the template, and navigating to the setting. Now I have only two fields. The two fields that I have created first before creating this project from the template. So this is an example of applying reusability just for reusability, not maintainability. This creating project template, creating repo template, creating saved replies, all changes will be applied to only the new project or repos that you will create after the customization. So again, in our organization, before this, let's create a new project and see if the new customization will be applied to it or not. Another project from a template. So as you can see here, the new column is here, start date. So navigating to setting, we have now three columns. Three fields, three fields: estimated time, week number, and start date. So in our organization, we use a template project. This is internal management template, and all these projects created from this template. Let's have a look. We have this columns for this view, and this custom view by priority, by size, and also for setting here for fields, we have all these customized field, and all these projects created based on this template. So let's have a look for this one, WordPress Automation Toolkit. This is a project for the repo that we mentioned in the last demo. The same customization. And also if we open this item, we have here the customized fields that added on the template project.
The amazing also as well, the labels. So we have all the labels, you know.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you don't consider reusability and thinking about that, and if we ask one of the engineer to create all the labels and all the custom to another project, and this is why when we start talking about reusability mindset, maintainability, and all that ability, you know, with software engineering practice and principles, again, you save a lot of time. You know, you really increase your productivity by applying the software engineering practices and principles. But if you don't consider that, then you are wasting your time, spending hours and a lot of effort without needed. And this is why, you know, the difference between a software engineer and just someone just doing something is completely different. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes,
Rahab.
thank you. Okay, so all these three examples, saved replies, again, repo template, project template, are examples of applying reusability, not maintainability, just reusability for reusability. Um, and now we will see another example for applying a template, for applying a reusability mindset is in GitHub action workflow. There are multiple solutions to areas to apply reusability in GitHub action workflow. You can create a reusable workflow, you can create a template workflow, and you can create even a custom action. So we'll see all these examples. Let's start by reusability, reusable workflow, how we can create a reusable workflow and reuse it across multiple workflows. So here, let's start here from our organization. I have created this repo, reusable workflow, just have a README file. And now we have a scenario that we would like to have the same workflow, GitHub action workflow, and reuse it across multiple repo. And apply reusability. Now we it's a mindset, and we realize this mindset. So now we will find a solution, try to find a solution to applying it. So this solution will help you is creating a reusable workflow and reuse it across multiple repository. So let's create a reusable workflow. Here under this location, it's a workflow. So under .github workflows, and name it just I name it here reusable.yaml, and this is the workflow. This is just simple workflow. Here it has a name, reusable workflow. Then on the trigger that will trigger this workflow on workflow call, as this is a reusable, and we will call it. Another workflows will call this workflow. So the trigger here is workflow underscore call. And after that, if you would like to pass some parameters to this workflow, you can add this parameters here in this section, inputs, and list all these parameters under inputs. So I have only one parameter here, name. I would like to pass the name to this workflow, and we will see why we would like to pass the name. And then start by adding if this input is or parameter is required or not. So in my case, required true, and the type of this parameter is a string. So after that, you will start by creating the jobs, your workflow jobs. Here it's just simple, only one job, greeting, have two steps. Just check out the code and say hello, echo hello, and the parameters that passed to this workflow, which is the name. So if you let's say pass DevOps visions, so this workflow only do or display hello DevOps visions. So this is the reusable workflow. Let's commit the changes. Now we have a reusable workflow. How we can reuse it or call it? You can call it the reusable workflow inside the same repository that you have the reusable workflow, or from any other repo in your organization. So let's start by reusing it inside the same repo. Let's create a new file and name it caller1.yaml. And this is the workflow has again a name and the trigger on. On my case, I just add the workflow dispatch to trigger it manually, and start by adding jobs. I have only one job here, just calling the reusable workflow. To call the reusable workflow, you have to reference this workflow. Where is this workflow? Reference the location of the workflow. So here it's under DevOps Visions organization, this repo. So uses, I will reference it. Reusable workflow, this is the repo, and the exact location for this workflow .github/workflows, and the name of the workflow .yaml, and mention the default branch here, in my case main. And as this workflow requires parameter, which is a name in our case, so I have to pass this parameter. To pass it, we will use this key with and pass the parameter key and value. So the parameter key name and the value, let's say DevOps Visions. So that's how we call this reusable workflow. Let's commit the changes and trigger this as it will, we add the trigger to be manually. Let's trigger it manually. So we have only 2 steps here. Check out the code and say hello. So hello DevOps Vision. Hello, and this is the post parameter, DevOps Visions. This is an example of how you can use the reusable workflow inside the same repo. What if you would like to reuse it in any other repository? To reuse it, you just need, as this is a private repo, you just need make this workflow accessible. So here under, again, let's from setting under actions, general here make it accessible from control how this repository is used by GitHub Action workflow in other repositories. So let's make it accessible from repositories in our organization. So this is the first caller GitHub Action workflow that called our reusable. Let's copy it and try to reuse it in another repositories in the same organization. So this is another repo, caller workflow. Let's add a new file to reuse our reusable workflow. Let's create caller2.yaml and add the same workflow to reuse our reusable workflow. Here, as you can see, this is the trigger and the job to use the reusable workflow. And I just amend the parameter that passed to the reusable workflow to add community at the end. So here, DevOps Visions community. Let's commit the changes and trigger the workflow manually. Let's see here, say hello. We expect to see hello DevOps Visions community. So that's it, how we created a reusable workflow and reuse it across multiple locations in the same repository and in another repo in the same organization. So this is the section of applying reusability. So what if we would like to add some changes or amend this reusable workflow, or amend all, make the same changes across all the caller workflow? We will make these changes in the reusable workflow, and these changes will be applied across all the caller workflow. This is the section of how to apply reusability and maintainability. So let's here add, this is the reusable workflow. Let's add another step here to maybe say goodbye. The same step, but just change the display message. So now we make a change to reusable workflow. Let's see how this change will be applied across all the workflows that call the reusable workflow. This is the first one. Let's trigger it. So now we have say hello DevOps Visions, and we have goodbye DevOps Visions. Let's see the second caller workflow and see if this change will be applied here as well or not. So yes, applied as well. Hello, DevOps Visions community, as this is the parameter name, and this is goodbye DevOps Visions community. So how you can apply reusability and maintainability using reusable workflow. And again, we apply this, we use this concept or feature in our organization. We create a reusable workflow here in this repo, common component, common workspace hub. This reusable workflow create, build and publish package to a NuGet package to GitHub package management. So this is the reusable workflow trigger on workflow call, and this is the inputs, and this is the jobs. We have only one job that get version from tag. We talked about this workflow in our previous session, while we would like to create a class library or a package, NuGet package, and publish this package to GitHub package management. So we created this reusable workflow that build, test, back, and publish this package to GitHub packages. And we reuse this workflow across all repositories that we would like to publish a package to GitHub package management. So here we have two repositories that we reuse this workflow. We have file system interactor. And as you can see here, we reuse this workflow. This is the location for the reusable workflow, and this is the input that passed to this workflow. And another repository, common component, reuse the same workflow that publish this package to GitHub package management. And for any GitHub, for any repository that we would like to publish a package to GitHub, we will reuse the same workflow. And if there is a new change we would like to add or amend the already existing code or workflow, we will make these changes to the reusable workflow, and these changes will be applied to all the caller workflows that reuse the reusable workflow.
So now we have, as we extend our frameworks and toolkits, so if we have, 100 of libraries, and I would ask you to change or maybe add an extra, then you will just do that in one place, which impact and affect 100 of our workflow for all our libraries, right?
Yes.
Yes. So it increases the productivity. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, this is a good architecture. When you start thinking about being an architect and design your solution in the right way, you start thinking of reusability, maintainability, and so on.
Yes. So this is the yes. So this is the packages that we created using the reusable workflow to publish packages to GitHub package management. And this is the example for another example for applying reusability and also maintainability across GitHub action workflow. We have another, and the last example for applying reusability mindset is GitHub action workflow, a GitHub action workflow template. GitHub workflow template. So here, to create a workflow template, you must have a right access to a public repository in your organization called .github. So if you don't have this repo created, I have already created it, .github public repo, and I have right access to it. So here, this is the repository, and this is .github repo. And under this location, workflow dash templates, create your template workflow. To create a template workflow, you have to create two files, one for the workflow itself, and the second for the workflow properties. It's a JSON file. This is again. You have to create two files, one for the workflow itself and the second for the workflow properties. And the properties JSON file must have the same name for your workflow template file. As you can see here, the template is sample-template.yaml. The properties file have the same name, sample-template.properties.json instead of .yaml in the workflow template file. Replace it with .properties.json file. Let's have a look for the template, just an original workflow. This is the workflow name, the trigger. I would like to trigger it on push and push to the main or the default branch here. And the jobs, I have only one job, creating job. This job just have two steps: check out the code and run one line script to echo hello from DevOps Visions. And this is the properties file. It's a JSON file, have some required fields and other optional. The required, it's the name of your workflow template, description for your workflow, icon name, categories, and the file pattern. They are optional. Let's see how we can reuse this template. I have created this repo, use the workflow template, just have readme, just only one readme file. Navigating to actions, I don't have here any actions. So let's here, as I created a template workflow in a .github public repository under my organization. Now I can see here this template listed under by DevOps Visions, and this is the template. Have the name, all this properties from the properties file, JSON file, DevOps Visions sample template. This is the name, description, and also this icon. You can use it, just click configure, and you can use it as a starting point to create your custom workflow, or you can use it as it is. So you can start by add some customization to it, or you can use it as it is. This is another repo. So let's commit the changes. And if we navigating to actions, it's the trigger, as the trigger here is while pushing to the default branch. So I pushed this workflow to the main branch, so triggered this workflow. And we have here these two steps to check out the code and run only one line hello from DevOps Visions. And this is the another. This is another example for applying reusability in GitHub action workflow, which is custom action. If you navigating to a marketplace, you can find here multiple examples for applying reusability here. All these custom action, you can use them, filter here, and try to find your action and just reuse it. What if you can't find the action that you would like to? Uh, you can create your own custom action. And that's what we did while we were working on a real use case scenario. We searched for a custom action to do our work, but we couldn't find, so we created our own.
Yeah, so we are one of the top contributors worldwide to publish custom action on the GitHub marketplace.
Yes. So here, if we search here for OneDrive, this is our custom action by DevOps Visions community. This is the first version of the action. This action downloads the file from OneDrive, and you can use it. And this is the, the last example for applying reusability. Again, it's not only about how to create the reusable workflow or custom action, saved reply, or all these examples, but it's all about, as Radwan mentioned, mindset. When you realize it's a mindset, you will find yourself automatically try to apply it and try to find how the platform you are using help you to apply it. And if you can't find the solution, you can create your own solution and maybe publish this solution to all over to all the global community. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Rahab. That's really amazing. So I think it's very clear, now we can say that being really agile, like welcomes the change. So you can go now to your customer, say, okay, I'm ready for the change. I will embrace the change. If you would like new feature, I'm ready to create the new feature or maybe to change. And this is exactly the main idea of being agile, a real agile is being welcome the change. And it's not just like accept the change. No, it's embracing the change. You live by the change. So yes, go to your customer and ask them, we are ready for the change if we applying reusability and maintainability mindset and other best practices. Thank you, Rahab. It's really amazing. So any
Thank
other question or no other any questions or something you would like to ask? Or I can see here also there is good comments on LinkedIn, but let's take any questions either from LinkedIn or here. Any question? No question? Okay. If there is no question, then let's call a day. And thank you again for joining us. And since this is the last session, we wish you a happy new year. And let's see you in the next year with many other sessions with new stuff about GitHub and more productive and more feature that you can create better. Thank you.